What's up everyone, welcome back to Switchcraft, and it's a great day to be a gamer. You've no doubt heard by now that our much anticipated Metroid Prime 4 has been delayed inevitably. I know, it broke my heart too. But there might very well be a silver lining coming from this story. Coming very shortly, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But first, I'll give everyone a quick recap of the video dropped out of the blue on the morning of January 25th, telling us the bad news. Shinya Takahashi stood in front of the camera and gave it to us straight up. He's responsible for development at Nintendo, and he wasn't holding back any punches. He gave us the lowdown on why we haven't heard anything about Prime 4 since E3 2017. The development of Prime 4 since that date has not met the standard of Nintendo excellence that they expect from their games. Prime 4 is very challenged in its development, and they've made the difficult decision to restart its development from the beginning, delaying its completion. We will not be hearing about this game again for a very long time, as the development time will be extensive. But there's a silver lining, and it's not the one I teased at the beginning of this video. Called in for help was the American studio responsible for the previous 3 Metroid Prime games we all know and love, Retro Studios. This single-handedly salvaged the announcement, as we can all rest assured that it's now in the hands of tried and true professionals who obviously know what they're doing and will see this title through to its glorious completion. In fact, Retro Studios actually reached out to Nintendo with a demo and offered to make it, which should raise the spirits of everyone who's down in the dumps after the initial announcement. They weren't forced to do this because Nintendo owns them. They want to do this and sought out the big boss to make it happen. They not only know what they're doing, they're motivated. Now, all of the stuff that's been plastered all over YouTube, and you've no doubt heard about it. If you haven't, you need to get out more. Seriously. But what I like to do, a little different on my channel, is go a step further and inject my own thoughts and analysis into stories like this and dive deeper into what the consequences could be. And this time, it has to do with the Metroid Prime Trilogy. I was surprised as anyone when we didn't get a Metroid Prime Trilogy announcement at the Video Game Awards. And we know, perhaps now, why. Prime 4 was a mess behind the scenes, and they kicked the announcement down the road until it could be used more strategically. I'm making the argument that that time is now, or at least in a few days. Game Informer senior editor Imran Khan revealed that the trilogy had been done for a long time, as long as months ago, and it was in fact planned to be announced in December of 2018. So let's get wild. Put the pieces together and take a leap of faith. Come with me on a journey, and we can conclude what the next week or so may bring. Assuming Nintendo has known for at least a while that Prime 4 was a mess and that the trilogy was ready, both safe premises, they knew they would have to make an announcement like the one we saw yesterday eventually. They cleverly dropped it on a Friday, hoping it would get buried in the weekend and be forgotten about by Monday. Psh, don't these guys know I'm on a 9-day work week and it's like Tuesday for me now? Nintendo always releases good news early in the week. Fact. Direct announcements, launch videos, announcements, tweet, reveals, you name it. Check your Twitter timeline. Nintendo also has their very big and very important investors meeting coming up on Thursday, January 31st. Fact. We haven't had any news from Nintendo this year so far about any of their huge lineup of first-party games coming out in 2019, and a Direct is sorely needed. Fact. Directs are often released on Thursdays, with only a few days' notice. Fact. Add all this up, shotgun 3 beers, put it in a box, shake well, and you have the timeline for the next week. I predict that in order to restore public and investor confidence by no later than Tuesday, January 29th, 2019, we will get word of a highly anticipated and much needed Direct to take place on Thursday, January 31st in North America. We'll get news on all of the rest of the first-party titles coming to the Switch. No indies thanks to the highlight pack we got a couple of days ago, and it will culminate in an announcement for the Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Nintendo Switch in the first half of 2019. I'm even going to go so far as to predict the exact date of the release, Friday, March 29th, 2019. You heard it here first, folks. In one fell swoop, Nintendo got the horrible news of Prime 4 out of the way, restored public and investor confidence with news of a direct, essentially wiping all traces of Prime 4 from our memory only days later. Stick with their habit of announcing good news early in the week. Stick with their habit of showing a direct early in the year, hyping us for all that's to come, ensuring investors don't prematurely pull out of financial commitments. Stick with their habits of having directs on Thursdays, and lucky number 7, avoid any spoilers of announcements made to said investors all before their meetings the day before in Japan get translated and told to the world. You can't argue with that. That's science. But you think you know better? Think good old Switchcraft fell off his rocker again? Let me know down in the comments, because luckily we don't have to wait too long until I'm proven right. I'll be sure to make a video at the end of next week basking in the glory of appearing psychic with all of the predictions I've just made, and you can all come back to pay homage. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be waiting. It's a great day to be a gamer. Switchcraft out.